Panelists joining us live here on stage. We've got the co-owner and manager and director of Raw Coffee Company, Kim Thompson. Mazen Kanaan is the co-founder and the CEO of House of Pops. Pamela Opie is the CEO and the founder of Linen Obsession. Mukta Purain is the founder of MissPalettable. We've also got Erika Blazeviciute, the Doyle, the founder and the managing director of Drink Dry, joining us live here this afternoon, and Mohammed Al-Sayed, who's the founder and the CEO of Accelera, joining us as well. So those are your panelists. As to your moderator for this session, please welcome the executive editor of Images Retail Me, who will be officiating this one. Please welcome Anurima Das. Anurima, it's over to you for this one.
Thanks, everyone, for joining in this afternoon. First of all, I would want to kind of take a minute to talk about all their uniqueness that they bring here to this panel. All of them. It's an ensemble panel that we have with us. From coffee concept to ice cream to linen to a beauty brand, and obviously Mohammed helping all of them, and not to forget Erika, who is doing something very, very unique, which I will leave to her to talk about. So yeah, so all of you have your thinking caps on all the time. That makes you unique. You are thinking. So what's the market response to your thoughts? Because I'm sure it was not so easy when you started, or probably you face friction time and again. So how do you navigate? How do you keep that cheer on and, you know, carry on? In any order, anybody can start. Yeah. Kim? Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think for the early years, it's concentrating on your product to make sure you have quality and consistency. And then for me, it was telling an authentic story, because that was how we connected our supply chain. So the product and where it came from, and then the end consumer, they were craving that connection. So it was the story. We didn't realize that in the early days, but as we went on, we could reflect and look back and realize that we were connecting people.
Yeah, for us, I think the way we try to navigate, essentially it was very important in the beginning to define our values. What do we stand for? And once we define them, which are very clear for House of Pops, purity, wellness, and sustainability, then it becomes aligning the business opportunities, the market opportunities with those values. Like, for example, when we wanted to select the ingredients, it's not only about cost and availability, it's also about sustainability in our innovation as well. When we consider, sometimes we make some compromises to say, no, we are going to say no to this innovation because it does not align with our values. Although sometimes it might be expensive, or let's say we could miss a big opportunity, but we are there for the long run. And in the long run, the sharper the brand is and the more defined the personality is, it will be more sustainable and more rewarding. Even our marketing strategy, like today, for example, is the 10th of October, is the Mental Health Day. So this is something extremely relevant for House of Pops. Versus the 21st of July, it is the World Junk Food Day. So we would not be participating there. So this helps us. It's an intricate dance between our values and aligning them with the business opportunities.
I think it was a bit easier for Linen Obsession to make our unique concept, because we were already supplying linen to the department store. So we already had a good business. But what we wanted to do was to create a very unique store, a unique concept that was really what we were about at our heart. Rather than, yes, we have great brands, and obviously we love the linen industry and you know, supplying products perhaps in a more commercial way. But in this concept, we wanted to showcase how much we love linen, how passionate we are about it, to create a destination for connoisseurs of linen, somewhere where people could come and, you know, talk about what their sleep issues were, and we could offer them a great range of really good quality and authentic products that could actually fill that need, because sleep is so important. And when you asked what was the difficulty with it, probably the difficulty for us was to train our team about how different this concept was. That it was really just about presenting all of the options, like the biggest range of white linen there is in the, in the market at a quality level, but being able to take the time with the customer to really explain it all and to answer all the questions. And so it was for us, the difficulty was getting our staff to understand the new mindset that was required for our new concept. Actually, the customers has been really easy because I think they just walk in and they get it. And I think that's probably the benefit of having a flagship store, so at least you can show your concept fully from the launch.
Amazing.
I had two main problems when we first started. It was 5 years ago. The first problem was that we are part of a very, very niche side of the beauty industry, which is clean beauty. And 5 years ago, very few people really understood what it meant. This was pre-COVID. So that was one problem. So I know my team and we spent a lot of time educating, putting up events, and just trying to get in touch with our customers as well. The second part was the e-commerce side. It's not very easy selling beauty products online, especially when they're not mainstream. So these were two main problems that we had. We did grow organically, and we grew primarily via social media, Instagram, influencers, and word of mouth, really. We realized that a lot of our customers who were coming and purchasing from us, they were coming back. And the reason why they were coming back was many of them actually suffered from sensitive skin. And they found that our products were working for them compared to what was available in stores, in the pharmacies, and department stores. So these were the two main problems 5 years ago.
Amazing. Yes, Erika.
So Drink Dry is the first and only non-alcoholic drinks marketplace. So we were the first to market and pioneers who brought in the category of premium, sophisticated adult drinks. We are not a soft drink company and we're not alcohol company. So we're the pioneers who created that category in the middle. And I think for us, one of the biggest challenges was when you are operating in a brand new category within the industry, timing is of essence. So Drink Dry as a business has evolved an awful lot in the last 3.5 years. We primarily started as an e-commerce platform, so we were very carefully selecting and curating our portfolio, and we were doing a lot of direct imports. We were importing the products we felt were good enough to be listed on Drink Dry's store. So we started as an e-commerce platform, and it's all about being first to market in our category, everything that we do. So right now, Drink Dry supplies every major supermarket chain. We are in over 350 venues with our drinks across the UAE. We have contracts with Rotana Hotels, we have contracts with Al Shaya. A beautiful non-alcoholic drinks menu has just launched in PF Chang's, in Dubai Mall and Murdoch Mall. So it's all about the timing. When is the right time to put your products that you have imported for e-commerce onto retail shelf? Because it's money and it's resource and it's time. And you have to make sure you're not too early, so you're not burning your cash and your stock isn't sitting there not being sold, but you're not too late because then somebody else is going to do it. So because we were the first to market to do what we did, and I feel we've most of the time gauged the timing well, that kind of first mover's advantage for us has always just kept growing, and I think we've made quite a big dent in that. But that has been the biggest challenge, to know when to make that move so you are not burning your cash, but you're not missing an opportunity. And I think also, as Kim mentioned, quality for us as well. I think historically, non-alcoholic drinks as a whole have a terrible reputation. You know, it's the one. Probably things have changed, but the narrative 3.5 years ago, when you say non-alcoholic drinks, it's the Beck's Blues, it's the really sugary grape juices in a champagne-style bottle, that everybody does that when you mention it. So to overcome that years of experience for a consumer, you have to make sure that the moment they buy a product from your store, and there's a lot of different elements in giving them a good experience, but when it comes to the product quality, that they open that bottle and they drink it, you are knocking them clean with the experience in terms of the quality, that they have nothing else to say but to think, this is incredible. So I bought the non-alcoholic beer. It's so fabulous. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to try a different category. Now I've tried a non-alcoholic wine. I'm going to go further and buy an RTD. So I think I'd say these two main challenges.
I'll have this one instead. So as a business consultant, I'm very, very fascinated by concept brands. They usually, they have amazing ideas, amazing products. They're very agile, very dynamic, and they, almost without exception, stand for a notable cause. And I think this panel is case in point. We have everything from anti-cruelty, health and wellness, ethical sourcing, non-alcoholic. So it's absolutely amazing. And these companies typically build very, very close and personal relationships with their customers. And because of that, my personal feeling and also my professional opinion is that they are going to form a part of the economy that is currently not being addressed by the giants, the structured companies that either can't or won't address these particular needs. And the more successful concept brands are, I believe the more resilient the economy will be going forward. And the idea obviously is to get us off the recovery trajectory from post-COVID and onto a much better and much higher growth trajectory. So I'm personally and professionally very interested in concept brands getting all the success that they deserve.
Amazing. So it's basically the power of ideas and timing it right and sticking around, because that's what all of you are doing, sticking around when challenges are coming your way. Keeping this thought alive, I want to ask Mukta the next question. So Mukta, in one of our previous conversations, you have mentioned how you regularly do customer surveys, and people have actually told you, when you have told them I'm closing down, they've told you don't, we are your customers. So that kind of builds that trust. So you are exploring customer centricity in a very different way. Can you just talk about it a little?
Yep, so recently I put out a survey to all of our customers, our database, and I asked them, if we were to close down today, how would you feel? And I just put that out there, a couple of questions with that. And it's quite heartwarming when you just send that out, and part of you knows that, okay, you'll get positive answers, but then a part of you is a bit scared that, oh my God, is someone really going to be happy that I shut down? But when I started getting all the replies back from the survey, as a founder, sometimes you get so dogged in onto the day-to-day and operations that you don't really know, are you really doing the right thing or not? Or is there something else that you could be doing? So that feedback, when it comes down from your customers and then them telling you that, please don't shut down, we love you. And then, the next question would be like, okay, if you love us so much, how do you think we can improve? And that's when the gems come in, then the things like, we'd like to see more skincare, or, we'd like to see this kind of product for hair. That's when, for me, it gets interesting, because it gives me direction. Okay, so the next products that I want, or next brands that I want to bring on board our website, this is what they want. So I go out and hunt for those.
Correct. So it's an effort which goes two ways, and you honor their transparency and they also honor it. So I believe it's a dialogue. It's a constant dialogue that you all go through. And Mazen, in this direction, I want to ask, your approach has always been to give a holistic experiential experience to your customers. You're doing that with your no sugar, fruit-only range, and that's what people are popping. So, give us 3 ways in which you have worked towards making it extremely customer-centric for your customers.
Yeah, actually, it's a very good question, because initially when we planned, we had a good understanding that currently people are not looking for a product, they are looking for experience. And I think everyone here on the board is trying to offer experience in a different way. So having this in mind, the first thing we have done is that if you really want to deliver an experience, first you need to be available around them. So we adopted an omni-channel strategy in order to make sure that House of Pops is everywhere. If you go to the mall, you find our kiosk. If you go for a walk onto the beach in JBR or in Kite, you will find there. You go for a staycation in the hotel, we are there. You go to the schools, we have arranged there. You go to supermarket, we're there. There is an event, we are there. So this is, I think, it takes a lot of work and it's super complicated to manage because there are different dynamics. But if you land it well, you're surrounding your audience and ready to deliver this experience. The second point would be the customization. So while yes, we are building a national brand, we have also the ability to customize it. So you can have for your event a House of Pops bike customized to your event theme. Or even if there's like the birthday of your kid, you know, they have themes for the birthday. So we also customize this. We can even print on the packaging of Pop the logo of the event or the name of the kid. And this means a lot for the kids. Imagine like you have, it's your birthday, you invite your friends and you have your own ice cream. So being able also to do that has also its complication because we move into batch and MOQ, etc. But we're able to deliver up to 40 customized popsicles. So this is really good customization. And third part, I think part of this holistic or customer-centric engagement is the product by itself, the way it was designed. Everyone talks about inclusivity, and this is very important. Our product, by the nature of it, is inclusive. We are vegan. We don't use refined sugar. We also don't have any allergens. And nothing beats the time when a mom would send us a message saying, you know what, my kid has a certain allergy, and he was never able to get an ice cream, but thanks to you, he's able to have his own ice cream and enjoy. So this inclusivity, we have a keto range, protein range, vegan, allergen-free, and we take it to the extreme. Even our factory, there's no allergen that enters into the factory, so there is not even a trace. So this is, in summary, I think the three things that we took, because again, the customers this time are looking for an experience, and yes, you need to really drive it across several touch points.
Amazing, amazing. So it's like, Mohammed, next question is for you. They are all operating in a niche category. They have a niche approach, and you are the one who takes them to the market, to the customer. So you are always giving them their growth path. How do you work around your magic?
All right. So two main areas is the answer to your question. The first area is basically providing the knowledge that typically is the exclusive domain of very, very large corporations with very large budgets. So the quality of consultancy or the quality of information that large firms have comes from seasoned executives, big six consulting firms, advisors, and so on. So we take this information. So a case in point would be for a client that we recently consulted for. We took a look at their particular customer journey, everything from identifying the need all the way through the purchase, post-purchase, and even complaints and termination throughout the whole chain. And I know it's cliche in this day and age to talk about Apple, but they have been the most valuable brand for quite a few years, and for good reason. We take a similar approach to what Apple does, which is we not only get involved in each stage, but we help the client craft each stage of the customer journey. So how do they engage in the needs identification, in the evaluation of options, in the purchase decision, and so on? The second area is more data-centric. So we look at data from the client itself. We look at data from the particular industry, from competitors. And we use that data to guide them to very specific decisions. So this data could guide their marketing communications, people, their corporate communications people, their research and development teams, for example. So these are the two main approaches, basically a kind of a large knowledge base approach where we look at the whole business, and a data-centric approach to specific problems that they have. So Accelera is a boutique consultancy. We don't do end-to-end projects like, I don't know, VAT implementation, for example. We go in and solve very specific problems to the satisfaction of the client.
Correct, correct. Absolutely. Now that we are talking about technology, processes, I want to ask Pamela, you have a storefront, and you said that it helps to attract customers, show them what you have. But obviously, you can't deny the role of omni-channel and building everything together, the multiple touch points. And it is growing crazier, interesting, and whatnot. So how do you ensure that seamlessness stays alive all across your touch points? Especially because you deal with a product which requires a lot of touch and feel.
Yeah, thank you. That's a great question. The omni-channel approach is so important. So yes, Linen Obsession has a flagship store, standalone store in Murdoch, so a certain number of customers will just come in there and shop. But actually, apart from that, most of our customers are already engaging with us using multiple modes, and I think that's particularly a feature of our business. So even if someone comes in through our e-commerce site, they actually will then have a conversation with us on WhatsApp. It will end up from that one of our linen consultants probably goes to their house and measures all of their beds. And then after that, having seen their decor scheme, their colours and what they're looking for fitting out their bedrooms and bathrooms, then the office will be sending them pictures and recommendations, and they may then finish that purchase in a store or online. So I think, now's the time when customers are becoming more empowered, and I think it's important that we don't try to control their shopping experience. I know for me as a customer, I don't want the people who I'm buying a product from to tell me how I have to deal with them, because we're all very time poor. And particularly when you're talking about something like your linen, your sleeping environment, it can be quite technical and it can be quite complex. And you want time to think about it, to see options, maybe have more information sent to you later. And so in order to achieve that seamlessness across however it is customers are shopping with us, we had to make sure that our culture of one company, one team, every sale is for everybody, was put in place, because you don't want any of your sales consultants trying to keep the sale for them because they want it for their store figures or their commission. It's really important that they're very happy to tell the customer about all the options of how they can engage with us, and they're really happy for the next person who might go and visit the customer, or a technical person who gives information to then pick it up. So for us, that's the secret of making omni-channel seamless.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it is not only about communicating the right thing to the customer, but also putting your internal processes aligned and people. So from that context, I want to ask Erika, storytelling is a big factor when it comes to selling the concept brands. And how do you keep your Oscar narrative going? What's that secret?
Look, I think storytelling is a prerogative that only concept brands have. It is our biggest weapon. It is our superpower if we use it well. And if it is authentic and it is real and if it's true, it really has a huge impact. So, for us, for me, when I started Drink Dry 3.5 years ago, it came from a personal experience of somebody who decided 8 years ago that I don't actually enjoy drinking alcohol. I don't like the social pressure that comes with it. It doesn't fit in with my health and wellness lifestyle. I was trying to start a family, so there were other kind of reasons why I decided to cut alcohol out of my life. And I went on this really exciting journey of discovering this whole incredible category of non-alcoholic drinks. And probably for a good 5 years, I was just an absolute geek of the category with no end goal. It was just something that I totally enjoyed, and I was just absorbing all this information and learning and everything kind of coming in. And when we moved to Dubai, I realized that nobody else was doing what I thought they should be doing. So I thought, I will start it. And, you know, with storytelling, you don't know when you start which narrative and which angle is the most powerful one. You have to try and learn what resonates with your consumers, with your customers the most, because it's all about the emotional connection that your story has on your customer. So, you know, and me being a female entrepreneur, a mom of 3 young kids, somebody with 0 business experience. I worked in Whitehall in London with a complete nerdy political background. That is our storytelling. This is unique to us. And when one of the most viral posts we ever did on LinkedIn was me putting out a post on us moving into an office space a couple of years ago, and what that meant to us as a business when we went from a bunch of people working in my house, having to navigate a load of kids, having to navigate me giving birth, coming back to the office 2 days later, and just sharing that went absolutely viral. And I think we had over 500,000 views on our posts and comments and likes, and very similar on our social media. You know, the most powerful post or piece of content that we put out is around our storytelling. And as the business grows and as the team grows, there are more angles and narratives to add. So, you know, I'm not saying that I'm becoming irrelevant, but it isn't just my story anymore, which is brilliant, you know. We've always been, and I think being a concept brand is incredibly liberating when it comes to your marketing strategies, because nobody's going to shoot you down. You can try so many different things. Nobody's benchmarking you against anything. Most likely, if you are a startup concept brand in a new industry, you don't have competitors as well. So you can be free to fail. And, you know, when I first started it, there was so much pressure on putting out really polished up paid media ads, because if you're putting all these tens of thousands of dirhams behind a paid media ad, it's got to be perfect, it's got to be polished. And from the first ad that we put out, it was either me, 15 seconds, shot on a mobile phone saying, hey guys, an amazing new product just launched on Drink Dry Store, come and check it out. And you just put on a bright color shirt, just for a bit of attraction, and that's it. And we did exactly the same, and nothing has changed for us in 3.5 years. We've just launched in August one of the leading alcoholic beer brands, Corona, launched Corona Zero, and we took the exclusive distribution for the region, for the brand. And it went back and forth with a ginormous drinks giant telling us we had to put all the paid media spend behind this really dull and boring corporate video that you barely see the bottle in the ad. You know, it's somewhere like on the beach, there's some palm trees. I mean, it completely makes no sense. And we made an internal decision that we're not going to do that. We're going to shoot something in my house, again, on a mobile phone, 15 seconds, and we're going to be really excited about this new incredible brand that only we get to launch. And you see that in the people's faces. You portray that emotion, and you know, it's been the most successful ad that we've ever launched in terms of return of our investment, in terms of the traffic that it drove to the website. So nobody can argue with us when we do that. So I think storytelling, it's something very unique to concept brands. You have to find your superpower within that. So whether that's your sustainability element, whether that's your founder story, whether that's your team story, whatever is your unique angle, that's your superpower when it comes to your marketing as well.
Absolutely. So when you have the story right, how you tell it doesn't matter. So you just have to say. So in that context, Kim, I want to ask you, you are also brewing conversations through your coffee. So, you know, how are you working towards building the community, that loyalty? And you've been doing that tirelessly for so many years now. So just talk on that. Yeah.
I'm finding this really interesting because everything everybody's saying is, that's my business. They might as well be doing the coffee. I think what's interesting is we're all owners, so we put our personality into our business. We put our reputation into our business. We're not going to fail, so we have to make right decisions. We might not know how to do it, but we learn, and because we're building a brand that we need it to last, we're not going to close, we're going to evolve, and I think that's something when you have a product, you get the quality right at the beginning, and you've all done that, and then you have your authentic story, you have the right people, you do the training, you have to learn how to do your advertising, your social media, and to tell your story, and to build your tribe. But if you have all the foundations right, your tribe find you, because they connect with what you're trying to deliver. I don't think you realize that at the beginning, but it's tangible because they connect with either the product or the story you have to tell. For us, we're really lucky because coffee grows in beautiful countries, so it's all really colorful and vibrant, and the people growing the coffee are cool to look at, and they're really invested as well, but they can't connect with the consumer. So we're in the middle, and we might have started the business thinking we had to learn to roast and make the coffee, but actually our main job is to tell the story.
Correct. That's lovely. So just to close this session, the timer is already signaling that we are done, but I'll just want, if any of you want to speak, some closing thoughts on what are your expectations from next year. And since we established that we all are growing, learning, and there's no way we'll fail, so just closing thoughts on how you're looking at the horizon from here. Anybody can take it.
I can share with you. So I think for House of Pops, we've been in the market for 5 years. Now, after 5 years, I think we have validated the product, the pricing, the value, the positioning, the promotion. All the elements are in place. I think now it's about pressing the gas. So we are very confident. And I think as a pre-requirement for that, which took us 5 years to build, is also the management team. It was mentioned here that at some point you will feel that it's about the brand and not much about you. I think with us, you need definitely a strong management team to drive it forward. So I think we have all the building blocks in place. And for us, it's about the growth pillars will be 3. 1 is expanding the product offering beyond the popsicles in other formats. 2 is about franchising and distribution outside UAE. And 3 is about private label, using the capacity that we have in our factory to manufacture additional products for other parties.
Amazing. All the best to you.
I agree. Innovation, I think you have to, because even though we've been first to market, it doesn't mean that now the market might be saturated with competitors that are following. So you have to continue innovating and trying to think how you can make that experience more real and keep improving the quality, actually.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you. So a lot of interesting things have been said, my humble opinion is the following. There's a lot of enablers out there, a lot of technologies, a lot of processes, a lot of procedures, but it is very important to crystallize basic business, which is, number 1, customers have to be convinced of the product, okay? Number 2, they have to enjoy the experience dealing with the concept brand. So that's the touch points, the digital, the experiential in shop. And number 3, they have to be fascinated by the story and agree, if not believe in, agree with the position or the cause that you've dealt with. That's my 2 cents.
Great. Mukta, you wanted to add something? Just the last thought. Yeah.
I think we're in a really, really exciting space right now because for the past few years, I've always had to work with brands outside of the region. But this year and ongoing, we're actually really excited because we are finally working with homegrown beauty brands. A lot of brands are coming up within the UAE, which is really, really exciting for us to be able to support them and bring them up. And of course, AI is very exciting. So for me, from an e-commerce perspective, I'm always looking at ways we can make the shopping experience online, especially when it comes down to beauty, a lot more easier and seamless. So we're seeing a lot more tech coming out of the beauty industry, which is also really exciting.
Amazing. I think we are done here. Thank you, guys, and all the best with your concepts. I hope we meet again to discuss where we have reached and how far we have come. Yeah.